going on YouTube? Dramedy here. Just going to share with you today my aquarium cabinet and what is inside. So I got the tripod on right now. What's going on? Basically I have my waste water bucket for taking water out of the tank. I've got my acclimation bowl, my salt water, or my salt measuring cup. I have my salt mix bucket, and then I have my tropic marin salt. Over here, the holding tank, it had rock in it. A buddy needed some rock. Went ahead and gave him the rock. So now it just has some permits. The bio brick has a Tunzi 9001 overflow filter. A coral frag bag. It's good for on the go. It's Milo or lime. Keeps your corals nice and cool or warm if needed. Got tons of socks down here. Change them out every 3-4 days. But we're looking at the cabinet, so you just make sure that you're picking this up. Video. This cabinet I made a while ago for culturing rotifers, phytoplankton, brine shrimp. I had a clownfish hatchery going on, and this is the cabinet. So it's got 3 shelves. Each shelf actually has a T5 bulb that runs the bottom. They are not plugged in right now, but I had these 1,000 milliliter flasks. These guys right here, they sat on each shelf. Each shelf held 4 of these. And on the bottom, behind all my junk here, there's a T5 bulb, and that was to light for the phyto. Basically, I had 4 bottles of starter culture, then you separate half of the last one, you put it in this one, separate. And I had 2 5-gallon buckets for rotifers, and then I had my brine shrimp hatchery down on the bottom there. It's still there. But let's talk about what's in the stand. Something a little bit different today. Not that anyone cares. I'm not bragging or trying to show off. I just want to show you guys some of the everyday stuff. I'm in this cabinet every day. I use it to store all my junk, keep it out of my kids' hands. I have a lot of people in and out of my house. Kind of keeps everything in one area. So stop rambling. So first up, I have a Polyp Lab Coral View lens. I got this when it first came out. I'm actually going to be trading this to a local reefer for a Polyp Lab flashlight. I already have one. I don't really need one. But he was looking for a lens kit and wanted to trade. So I told him, hey, I got one, I'll trade you. So Polyp Labs lens kit, great for taking photos and videos of your reef. Right behind that, I have the Reefing Art lens kit. This is I got this because it had a couple more lenses, and it came with this fancy case to hold all the lenses. Very inexpensive, but the Polyp Labs kit only comes with 3 lenses. This one comes with 6, as well as the lens cover if you're going to carry the clip around with you. And it has this little handy dandy case. So up next, I have some TDO Chroma Boost, some fish food. I use this mainly when I had my 150. Great food. I actually saw some improved colors in my fish when using this food. I still use it, but I use it sparingly. Pellets seem to be more concentrated as far as adding nutrients to the system. So TDO Chroma Boost, I got some marine, a brand new bag of marine S pellets. My clown, this is mainly for my clownfish, and sometimes I drop them into corals, but this is my preferred pellet food for my clowns. Great stuff. I also have some seaweed extreme. This is for the tangs or any algae eating fish that I have. Fortunately, I don't have too many of those. I do feed my clowns this sparingly every once in a while. I like to switch it up. Here's some more pellets. These are a little bit smaller size. I got this with an order. It's a free sample, but I kind of like it. It's pretty good. It's really small pellets. My pygmy, perchlet, geometric perchlet, he actually likes this stuff, so I throw a little bit of this in there. I used to do frozen one day and then pellets the next day. Now I'm starting to feed like every other day, so try to mix in some frozen with some pellets. Here we got the sauce. A lot of controversy on garlic. I add this to the frozen every other feeding. I feel like it helps their immune system. I use it. I do feel like it dirties up the system a little bit. I basically take a frozen cube, put 2 drops of this on there. I'll put a scoop of, what is it called, Reefroids, and then I'll take some tank water, I'll spray it in there, let it melt, dissolve, mix it all together, and feed to the tank throughout the day. A lot of controversy about that one, but you know, here we got some Reefroids. I actually want to try some Benefits coral food. I heard it's got less smell. I just want to try it. I've seen some people that are using it that swear by it and got great growth results. So I mainly broadcast feed this. I very hardly spot feed. I just find it a pain in the butt mixing it up and trying to suck it through a syringe without the syringe getting jammed up. I see a lot of people have wider tips, but I used to have the Julian Sprung's thing feeder, but I got rid of that a while ago. Anyways, here's another Reefroid container, but usually when these packets get down to the nitty gritty, it's kind of hard to reach your finger in there, so I took an old Reefroid. This one actually has some seaweed extreme in it. Put a label on there. I just put my food in there. Just when it gets down to the nitty gritty. And about every few months I'll just dump it out and refresh it with one of these open bags. I feel like it's got a better seal. There's some coral food, Coral Frenzy. This bottle is actually probably expired. I don't use it no more. It's just kind of sitting in the cabinet. Probably need to just get rid of that and use it as a little food container. Put a new label on there. So up next, we got the Nyos Magnesium Test Kit. Now I've been using this one. It's all right. I think the next magnesium test kit I get is going to be the what is it called? This one, the Red Sea Magnesium Test Kit. But I've been using this one. No problem. It tells me what I need it to tell me. So next up, I got the TDS meter. This one also tells the temperature. It has a hold button on there, so once you dip it in there, you push the hold button, and it'll keep your number on the screen. Unlike the salinity checker, as soon as you take it out, the number disappears. There is no hold button on the salinity checker. But I have this to check my RO water. I do not have a TDS meter installed on my unit, so I use this after I make some water to tell me when the DI has been exhausted. And every once in a while I'll disconnect the DI and just run the RO membrane and check the membrane to make sure that it's still good. And I check my house water with this as well. So good little tool to have. Had it for a few years. Up next we have the Hanna Salinity Checker. I just recalibrated this last night. I bought a couple extra calibration packets. It has comes with like 5. I think I bought like 3 more. I think I'm down to 3 calibration packets. Fairly inexpensive, like $1.50 each. Right here I have like a little propagation bag. Basically it has some tweezer scissors. These are the best scissors for cutting zoas. I mean, these things work awesome. So I got 2 different sizes of those, the bigger and the smaller polyps. I got some scalpel blades to go with the scalpel. These are some badass tweezers. I really use these a lot. Tweezers, got a little probe for prying stuff out of the rocks. And then you got forceps, some scissors, a couple of wire picks, all stainless steel. But I found this kit on Amazon for like $8 or something, and I've been using it when I get a chance to propagate some corals, and I feel like it works great. So it's a good little kit to have. I get all when you want to play scientist. Good little kit. So here, let's just pick this up so I don't have to pull all this out. I have the Red Sea nitrate and phosphate test kit. I got the Hanna calcium checker, Hanna alkalinity checker, and the low range phosphate checker. Right here I use this little spoon for my reefroids, stainless steel spoon. I got my bag of polyfilter, and I got my logbook here. Now this logbook I keep like a journal of some of my tanks, but this one goes back to 2013. More stuff, just a little journal. Right here is when I had the 150. Here's some of the, whenever I would get a new coral, I would write it down in here. We all know we forget the names of corals. Here's some more stuff. This is the lagoon. Some of the corals that were added there, the inverts, fish, and then back here in the back, this one's from 2014, 34-gallon Catalites tank I had. I don't know, it's kind of old stuff, but I've had this book for quite a while. Here in the back we got alkalinity, a bunch of tests. As you can see, I would do daily tests, weekly tests, and then so just my little logbook. I use the Apex log, but I also like to write it down just so I can have something I can pull out and look at instead of trying to deal with the Apex. And right there is a T5 light that I was talking about. So let me put this stuff back on the top shelf and we'll look at the second shelf. Cool little cabinet to have. Just wanted to make a video showing you guys some of my reef junk, and like I said, I use this cabinet on a daily basis. I'm in here all the time, getting food, getting test kits, propagation stuff. Just a real handy little cabinet. Keeps all my stuff out of all over the house and keeps it nice and handy in one little spot for all my supplies. So on the next shelf I have some Aquarium media bags. Now I actually use the Voids media bags mainly, but they were all out, so I just picked these up. Comes with 2 bags. I use this mainly for like carbon or purigen or any type of media that I just going to use temporarily. I use these bags, but like I said, I mainly use the Void Timmy bags. I feel like they're a better value. You get 2 or 3 in a box, and they're only like $3 or $2. So Right here I got some aquarium gloves. I put these on after eating like Mexican burritos or something. I like hot sauce on my burrito, baby. So I like to put these on just because we know washing our hands, we have contaminants. If I had something with hot sauce or I cut up some jalapenos or something, I like to put these on if I need to put my arms in the tank. So down here I got some scissors, 2 different kinds of scissors. For cutting open frag bags, fish bags. They actually come in handy cutting open the little tester reagents, etc., etc. So we got these little frag cups. And here we got a Halle Berry. But usually when I'm buying frags, they come in either a bag or a container. And I like to save them. They're reusable. I got all the lids here. If someone comes up and buys something for me, I'll throw the coral in there. This way they can get home with it safely. So here I got some BSI coral glue. I feel like that one is probably the best one, but it is fairly expensive. Down here, got a mixed bag of frag plugs. These were gifted to me from a local reefer. Did him a favor, he brought me up some frag plugs and a few corals. He asked me if I need anything. So down here, got some frag discs. Got 1 more pack of those left. So right here I got some, this is from Harbor Freight. So if you guys are at Harbor Freight, this stuff is actually better than this stuff. So this is 99-cent store. This is Harbor Freight. You get like a 10-pack of this for like $4. You get like a 3-pack of this stuff for like $1. So I feel the Harbor Freight stuff sets up a little bit quicker, and it was recommended to me from a friend, so I tried it out and he's correct. So right here I have a Baby Bubbles. This is for like it's a portable air pump, battery powered. I have this because I do not have a generator. It'll last 20 hours on 2 AA batteries. Basically provide air to my tank. This is like an emergency situation. I actually need to get the little bit bigger one. I think I got this at the 99-cent store for $1, so not bad for backup. I know it's not a generator. I know it's not going to do much, but it's better than nothing. So down here I have me a little Aptasia X. Had some Aptasia in the tank. I've been trying to blast it away with that. I have a coral banded shrimp in my tank, so I can't throw peppermint shrimps, and I've never had success with peppermint shrimps. So here's some more media bags. They're just some basic stockings from like the 99-cent store. You know, sometimes when I'm changing my water, I put these on. No, I'm just kidding. They're for media. I just use them. Put the media in there, cut them up, tie them up. You get 2. I get about 10 uses out of one of these. They're only $1. Some single-use coral gel. Got some more glue here. Got some Acro Power. Got a tape measure. It's a junk tape measure for, you know, we all need tape measures when we're looking at stuff. Got a couple of unions. They're in here just because I really didn't have a spot to put them. Got some Teflon tape just in case. Got me some coral cutters, bone cutters. I've had these for like 5 years, man. These things are badass, dude. I think I got them for like $5 too. Don't know who makes them. I like how they're black. Got me some magic lube. I use this on my unions. It came with the Catalytes tank I had. I use it on any like reactors that have rubber seals on them. I'll put a real thin coat of this. Unions. Really good stuff. I've never had a problem with it. Down here I got some nuts and bolts. These are stainless steel. I actually just use those. Got a little 5mm syringe for sucking up water for test kits or blowing off the corals. These are some tweezers. I only use these tweezers for brand new corals that come in. If they have any pests on it, I have a feeling like I don't care if I wash them, dry them, wipe them off. I just feel like if this has touched the pest, it is not going to touch my main tank. So I'm funny style like that. So right here I got some providone iodide. This is like equivalent, I guess, to Lugol solution. It's just a cheaper option. You get it at the health store. This is what I use to dip zoas or any softies after cutting them. I usually spray enough in there just to darken the water to where you can barely see the coral. 2 to 5 minute dips. Take them out, rinse them off, put them in the tank. Here we got another media bag. I think this came with the Red Sea Reef Spec Carbon. Just kind of got in here as an extra media bag. Over here we got the AZ NO3. So when I had my 150, I had some nitrate issues. Could never get them down, no matter how many water changes I did, how big a water change I did. It was just elevated nitrate. This stuff right here will take out the nitrate quickly, very quickly. Strongly recommend this product, but use with caution. Do not overdose. Start with a half dose, a half recommended dose, and then check, test, and go from there. Right behind that, I have my AccuDrip. I use this for corals that have a higher alkalinity than my system. I also use it for fish, depending on where I get the fish from. Sometimes I'll just float the fish, get them up to tank temp, and then I'll just plop and drop them. I do not have a quarantine system at this point. I do have the holding tank over here I could put in quarantine if I feel they need quarantine, but I use that for fish and corals, mainly for corals that are in a higher alkalinity or different parameters in my tank. I'll slow drip them depending on what it is. Same with inverts, same with snails. So I know a lot of people don't acclimate their cleanup crew, but I like to. So here I got some extra reagents. This alkalinity reagent, phosphate reagent, extra calcium reagents. I got some spare cuvettes. Right here I got the blue vet, the phosphate remover. You need to run a 10 micron sock or something with that if you're going to use that. I just have it in here. I had it on my previous tank. Here we got the pH calibration solutions. Got me some extra Hannah checker, salinity checker solutions. I got a salinity probe solution just for recalibrating the probes. Try to recalibrate my stuff at least every 6 to 8 months just to make sure everything's running where it needs to be. Over here on the door, we got some lighting schedules, instruction manuals, just, you know, paperwork for any equipment I buy, anything that I'm going to need to look at again. This was actually a lighting schedule that I had set up on the Kessel 360X. So cutting board for propagation. It's good to have like a little area to put your coral on. It's not that big, it's real small. You know, I don't have a lot of room here. So right here I have some coral dip. This is some Revive. I got a little container, a couple specimen jars. This is for dip only. Got a little propagation toothbrush. I use that only for dipping. Got me some backup test kits to if I ever feel like I have a bad test or something. Now that I look at it, this top one is expired. It's alkalinity, calcium, and alkalinity by Salifert. I got my brine shrimp hatchery. These are 3 1,000 milliliter cones. I got my old school Vertex refractometer. Needs to be calibrated. I haven't used that thing for about a year. It's got a cool little case. I got my Hannah magnetic stir. I was going to make a caulk reactor with this using the 1,000 milliliter flask and or a trace element doser. I was going to put the flask on there, put some trace elements in, and dose using the X1 to the tank. Currently, right now, I do not need it, so it's just sitting here waiting for the day that I decide to tweak out on it and, you know, create something. So right here, got a couple cups in there, plastic cups, you know, to-go cups. Good for if someone buys a larger piece of coral, I could throw it in there. Got the bubbler for the hatchery. Got me some Melaflex down there. Got me some paste for PVC. A couple T-fittings. I got my air pump for the brine shrimp hatchery. A couple check valves. I got a little tap plastics applicator for doing coral stuff. Got a couple hanging kits down here, just not in use. I think these came with the Orphic lights. I got 2 sets in here, so always good to have a hanging kit laying around. And that's it for this. You can see I got a little T5 light mounted up top there for the hatchery. With the brine shrimp, you want to let them chill under some warmer conditions. And then when you're going to harvest them, you want to actually shine the light down near the bottom, and there's actually an exit point at the bottom. And you can either suck them up with a straw, or you can open up the bottom and drain them out at the bottom. Got me some silicone here that I was going to use. Got my 2-part, my magnesium, the waste away products that I am currently not using at this time. Got some carbon, some peroxide. I used to dose this every night, 30 minutes after lights out. I actually stopped doing that. I might start doing it again. Got me some starboard back there, a piece of wood. And I actually have one more cabinet, but that's kind of like the cabinet I don't use too often, but I do find myself going in there weekly. It basically holds got my towels, got some vinegar, got some extra salt mix down there, another Marine Pure brick. That bucket right there is for my dirty socks. It has this water with bleach in there. Let them soak in there for a few days. Quick look at the tank. And here's the other cabinet. It's got the X1 UV bulb. Got some distilled water, some bleach. It has some Nopox in here, some Prime, Phosphate, E by Brightwells. A lot of stuff that I don't really use. Got some freshwater waste away back there. Got the X1. Got my siphon for water changes. It's got my inline tube right here. Got some Tunsy gloves. Got another tape measure, basket. It's got my algae reactor there in the back. Might put that on this system. And just like little aquarium junk knickknacks. Got some orange glasses. And just kind of like spill over. Scrapers, etc. Frag tank. Somebody wanted a closer up look.
In the heat of, we're filming, they're on PCH, filming, paparazzi are around.
A little bit closer look. The whole setup, how it's screwed in.
Is there something going on here? Is there something just a little bit odd here?
In February 2002, Jay released a remix album titled J to the LO.
J to the LO. There's a tank. No lens. Looks kind of blue. Still ramping up for peak power.
A month later, Geely rapped. Affleck was so captivated by Lopez that he took out full-page ads in Variety and The Hollywood Reporter, praising his co-star's beauty, courage, as well as her poise and true grace.
He gushes about her in this ad that he has to pay for and take out. It's for the whole world to see. Now, if you're Chris Judd, I don't know how you take that.
But yeah, it's a look at the tank, 30 minutes in. What a way to spend your day. There's Diego. thanks for checking out the channel. I just wanted to share with you my fish cabinet, fish junk. I got it tethered back to the wall just in case some kid freaking pulls on it or something. It doesn't come crashing down on them. There's the salt. That's about it, guys. I just wanted to share with you guys some of my cabinet and my supplies, and maybe you guys could put something like this together. This is a pretty cool stand I made that didn't end up working for the lagoon tank, but it's okay. We're going to utilize it for fish junk. That's all I got for today, guys. Thanks for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll try to release another video next week. Ramble about something else. So reef on, brothers. Thanks.